Welcome to Which Side Do You Want, where we talk all things tennis. I'm your co-host, Ruffin Thornton, and I'll be joined by my good friend, James Skinner.
Unlike most tennis podcasts, we cover hot topics, from the lawns to the concrete, from the pros to the park, and all things in between. Welcome to Which Side Do You Want?
All right, welcome back, tennis and racket sport fans, to our podcast here in the wonderful studios in Chesterfield. It's been a minute, but we are back, and we are glad and happy to be back in front of you.
So happy to be back.
So, Coach, how you doing? How was the summer?
The summer was great, man. You know, we had the Tennis Academy. We had the Rising Stars Academy this year, and I want to thank Richmond Tennis Association and all of the people who, the nice, kind-hearted people in our tennis community help support our program, and it was a success. Each year it gets bigger and better, more kids. And this year we got a chance to take them to the City Open. So, and we'll put some of those photos on the on the Instagram so y'all can see some of the kids meeting some of the major players.
They were pretty nice. I like that.
Yeah, and everything was real nice. Great summer.
Cool. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I roasted like a peanut, but that sun was no joke.
No joke, you know.
But we had a great time.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned the City Open, because we're gonna have to bring that into this week's podcast.
Without a doubt.
Because that was the precursor to some of our topics.
You know it. See the smile on my face.
Yes, sir. But let's get right to it. You know, it's been a minute, but we're back in front of you. You know, life keeps on trudging, but we're still here. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the tournaments of the week. I'll start out with the men, not the men, but on the women's side. On the women's side, I'm gonna start out with a little different. The WTA 125 level. There are two tournaments in the world. The Tiriac Foundation Trophy in Bucharest, Romania. I do not have a defending champion. Another one that's in, I'm not even going to butcher this tournament's last name, but somewhere in Slovenia. Let's just leave it at that. It's another 125 level event. So that's the beginning levels of the WTA. Yep. Then you have a WTA 250 tournament out in Japan, the Japan Open Tennis Championships back in Osaka, Japan. And one more out in San Diego, a WTA 500 level event. The San Diego Open is in San Diego, California. Yep. So that's on the women's side. On the men's side, we don't have the traditional money-grabbing tournaments. We have the Davis Cup Finals group stage. You know, and they've got 4 locations this year right now.
Change the format again.
Change the format. Really exciting format.
But I think it is going to be more exciting.
In Bologna, Italy, in Manchester, England, in Split, Croatia, and Valencia, Spain. No,
not this year.
No correlation to Orange.
Yeah.
Oranges, Valencia. Anyway, but Group A has got, so it's I digress. So on the Davis Cup with this new format, they've got groups. So in Group A, you've got Canada, Italy, Sweden, and Chile. That's the one that's being played in Bologna, Italy. Group B has got Australia, Great Britain, France, and Switzerland. Group C, that's being held in Manchester, England. Group C is got Spain, Serbia, Czech Republic, and Korea Republic. That's being held in Valencia, Spain. And Group D has Croatia, the Netherlands, USA, and Finland. And that's being held in Split, Croatia. So that's what's happening in the world of tennis today. But we're not here to talk about what's happening today. We're here to talk about what just happened. So this will be officially our 2023 U.S. Open recap. All right. So Coach, you know, like I said, it's been a minute.
Yes, it is.
I'm going to say what I haven't said in a while. Which side do you want? You want to talk about the ladies, or you want to talk about the men?
We're going to go with the ladies today for obvious reasons. Because we have crowned a new first-time Grand Slam winner in Miss Corey Coco Golf.
Yeah, absolutely.
And oh my gosh, there's not too much I can say except that, this was her coming out party.
Right.
For real. This was her coming out party. She has established herself as one of the top players, the elite players,
absolutely,
in the game today.
And we've been looking for it for a while.
Yeah,
it's been coming, like you said, but
I always say we just be patient.
Right.
Be patient. And a lot of people, were saying that she was a wash or bust. And remember, we talked about this before. How can you be a wash and a bust?
And she's not even 18, she's not even 20.
19, not even 20 years old. So I'm happy to see this level of success for her that's come, and it's still very early.
Right.
I'm inspired because she has a good team around her and strong family background. So we think that they're gonna keep everything level for her and guide her in the direction the right way.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead, right ahead.
But we want to talk about her team, especially some of the changes she made to her team and the people that she has around her.
Right, right.
But go ahead and continue.
Well, I think we got to take this whole story goes back to that Wimbledon loss.
Right.
She lost to Kenin in the first round of Wimbledon, and that was a major disappointment for her. And then she and the family, they had to talk about, because her father and, he has been doing the bulk of the coaching load, but he's also had some assistance. She's trained with Mortagalu and done some other things. But then I think they all mutually agreed that it was time for a change.
Right.
And so they brought on Brad Gilbert and Pierre.
I can't remember her name. But
but
you're
anyway.
right.
And brought them on, and you have one that's going to work with the technical aspect, and the other one's going to work with the head. You know,
and they did a great job.
They did.
Let's not discount that Wimbledon loss, because Sophia Kenin that was a tough draw. We were saying that when it came out during Wimbledon.
Yep. She was going to be tough.
And
on grass.
You would think that would favor Coco.
Yeah. But she steadied. Kenin outsteadied her in
that
match, and I think, the pressure got to her. She got a little nervous, a little tight, missed some serves, a lot of serves. It was just a lot of first serves, and Kenin just jumped on top of that, and she got the win. But you could tell it crushed her to the point where they needed a change. Yeah. And of course, timing is everything. Mm-hmm. All these people available. She requested for these coaches,
and from what I understand, so did her father.
Yeah,
because he understood that I can only take you so far. That's good wisdom.
Yeah, that is very good wisdom. I mean, at some point they all have to do that. They have to take a step back, and it's all about progression. How do we progress this person to the next level? And so then, of course, it comes down to that City Open. So like I said, let's circle back to the City Open, which you were at with the kids from RTA. Yes,
that was a first stepping stone. And
it was,
and that was a good win for her. What I like about the City Open is, and why a lot of people are playing it more and more than what we used to see, is it almost replicates the same conditions that we're going to see in New York.
Yep, exactly. And the crowds, of course, are smaller. The venue's small and everything, but the intense competition. And I was just amazed at how many solid players were there playing in it. Pagula was there, and Svitolina was there, and all of these top quality players. Madison Keys was there. Sakari was there. All of these players were there because they know, just like you said, I think that brought up that the conditions are so much like what they're going to face at Flushing and Queens, and so it is an ideal venue now. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy. I think the best thing City Open did was to put that WTA event on there with it, and it has transformed that tournament.
It really is. It's now,
and I think it's going to grow. They got some more things they need to do to fix that area up and get that park to where it's top level, but they're doing that. And so, but then Coco she went out there and battled. Yeah. And battled and had a couple little pushbacks. But the thing is, what amazed me about her that made me say, okay, this might be it for her. Right. Is that even she started to being able to play through the fact that she might have been a little off, her game was a little off,
Right.
and she was still able to find a way to win.
And that's good.
And that's good. That's that next level.
Right.
And she's always been a little thinker on the court, always trying to put the pieces together to figure things out. And winning that title in DC changed her.
Right.
And then we come on to Winston-Salem.
Not
Winston-Salem, but Cincinnati.
Yeah, Western and Southern.
Western and Southern.
Yeah.
Yep. And that was it.
Yeah.
I mean,
a WTA 1000 level event.
Yes. That's her first 1,000 win victory. And she did it, man. She went through. And after that, you could see the confidence in her and understand that, even when you're down, she's still going to work her way back in. And not only is it important for her, but it sends a message to all the other players too.
Oh, yeah.
That even if you get her in the first set, or if you get her, you break her here and there, she's coming back. You better, don't rest on your laurels.
Right.
This match ain't over. And you have to do what you did and then some. So you have to keep playing. So you keep putting
that's
the pressure
the mark
on
of a champion that you just don't realize is about to be a whole lot better and a way bigger problem.
Yep.
That's it. You might take a set off of her. You might take a couple games. You might even get to match point.
You better put her out right then and there. If you don't, let her hang around. And I think her first round match against Sigmund, the German girl, that was it. After that victory, I said, she's gone. She's gone, because that was the challenge. Everything that goes against it, normally back a couple years ago, would have crushed her, and she would have gone down and she would just try to hit her way out of it and would have been a disaster. But there she instead of rushing to go harder, she went back, pulled back, started rallying with her, and mixing up her shots and hitting the heavy topspin forehands, man, that were making Sigmund hit way up in the air, just smart tactical tennis.
And the fact that, like you said, she was poised. You figure, this is the first nighttime match, primetime match of the tournament. And, a lot of us tennis players understood that what Laura was doing was gamesmanship.
His gamesmanship, sure. She was trying to get in her head.
When she's not following the rules. If you're not sure what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, there's a rule in USTA, not a USTA, in tennis, that states that the returners have to play at the server's pace. But it's quite ambiguous.
Right.
Because what does that mean?
What does that mean?
With a shot clock, it's pretty straightforward. But,
you could you take all that guesswork out.
Right. So you have 25 seconds?
I think
25 seconds.
Yeah.
So, when you have that and all of a sudden the server is waiting for the returner to get back because she's taking time and going to the towel. That was pure gamesmanship. And we understood that as tennis players. Yep. And we hated it. And I love the fact that Coco said, she said, enough is enough. I'm going to the chair. And the results, even though the chair umpire for that match understood, saying, oh yeah, it's so hot and it's so humid and she's got to give her time. She did the right thing and said, you do it again, I'm taking a point. Right. And that's exactly what happened. And that's what, and that, like you said, that led to a different Coco.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It did. And I think from there, after that win, that was a tough win. I mean, and Sigmund, I'm going to give her credit. That first set, man, she took it to golf, serving, volleying, coming in, and she put the pressure on her and pushed her back. But she held it down and came back in that. And the thing is, everybody, the story now on golf is attack her forehand. And that's what everybody's doing. How's that working for you? And they attack the forehand. But that topspin, that heavy topspin forehand that she was hitting, I was like, wow. Yeah. And the depth of her shots too. That was another thing. All of her stuff is coming deep and pushing you back farther and farther. So making you have to come up with an even greater shot than you hit before. And she rode that all the way in to the finals against Sabalenka.
And even then, Sabalenka thought, I'm just going to hit you off the court like I did Madison Keys, the previous match.
She did.
And, again, for Madison Keys, great job. I wish you could get back to the semi-finals again. Yeah. I was really pulling for you, but Sabalenka just decided, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out swinging. And she swung. And unfortunately,
and Maddie got tight.
Maddie got a little tight. She still has one of the better serves on tour.
Oh,
but it didn't
Forehand,
hold up
huge.
to that.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then Sabalenka thinks I can do the same thing to another American player. Nope,
Nope, not
this
this
is
one.
different.
This is a different animal.
Player.
Yeah, different. This is a different little.
Maybe not the same serve, but definitely every ball that you are hitting was a winner against Madison.
It's coming back.
It's coming back.
It's coming back.
So,
and you could see her getting even more and more. It got to the point where she was still swinging to the fences, but
Right.
Coco was anticipating, sending everything back. I mean, and she let her know that, look, in order to beat me, you got to do this every single time. And I think and eventually Sabalenka started breaking.
Right.
And I was impressed because normally I thought her serve was going to start getting tight, but she didn't. She hit. I mean, Sabalenka played well. She didn't play bad. She played well.
I think the way she played against Coco, she probably would have beaten practically everybody on tour, including Iga.
Yeah.
Another great defender.
Yeah.
And another great German, and probably she's now a proud mom. Lefty. I can't think of her name. We'll think about
Svitolina?
it. No, not Svitolina.
Oh, you're talking about
German. Anyway, we can't remember. Anyway, she probably would have tracked down a lot of balls too, but not against the onslaught that Sabalenka had.
No, man. Sabalenka hits that ball a ton.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing the power she gets off the ground.
Off both sides.
And that serve.
And she served well. She returned well.
Yep. And it was tough. She got some breaks too.
Yeah, she did.
But you know what? You earn your breaks up in here
Right.
too, just playing hard. But golf just was relentless. You know, she lost that first set 6-2. But what she do? She got up a break in that second set.
That's all it took.
And that's all it took. And she should have just stayed on top and rode it out.
Right.
It's like, and then, it was a masterful performance. And she played within herself. However, the other thing too is that she wasn't playing 100% golf.
Right.
But she found a way to win.
Yeah.
That's the champion, man.
That would be scary if the tour caught on to that Coco didn't play her absolute best.
She didn't play her A
match.
game. She didn't play her A+ game or A game.
Right.
She was like a B+ A- game.
Right.
But it was enough.
It was, and if that's enough,
what does that say?
It makes you say, what is it going to take to start beating this young lady? Because at 19, she ain't going nowhere. Barring any major injury, and we're not hoping that anytime soon, especially since she has the media, it's the social media status. She's young, she's an American, which a lot of people from this country are going to follow her. The sky's the limit, and we're looking forward to the potential that she brings. And one thing that I like about her, like some of the all-time greats, is that as great as she is, she's humble.
Very humble. Yeah.
She is so humble, and
she
I
was raised
really
well.
like that.
Yeah, she raised well. Her parents, obviously.
It was so impressive to see her after she's gone out and won. The shock of winning a Grand Slam, your first Grand Slam, has got to be enormous. But she comes back to her chair, and then she gets on her knees and prays. That was probably the most impressive thing that I saw.
Yeah.
Outside of her athletic prowess, because that just lets you know. And then some of her comments that she said, where she mentions the City Open tournament, she mentions Western and Southern, about her naysayers, saying that you didn't pour my water out, you didn't pour my flame out, you just gaslighted it.
That's right.
And, so it's bright. We hope her flame is burning brightly for many, many years, or at least another decade. So that means that I'm probably going to be taking a couple more trips to the US Open.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. She's it. I mean, who knew a few years ago when we saw this young 15-year-old kid upset Venus Williams, at Wimbledon.
Right.
That, we saw the potential, but we didn't know where it was going to go.
Right.
And now we see it. And I'm just amazed that after she defeated Venus Williams, she walks up to her and Venus is about to shake her hand and walk away. She holds onto her hand just to thank her and just tell her, this wouldn't happen without you. You're my inspiration. And never, 15 years old, what what kid would do that? You know, it just, you know, and that was just, to me, that told me she's something different.
Yeah,
something different.
She definitely is definitely special.
So we happy that she's gotten this title. She's got to go back and get herself together, take some time off.
Right.
Go ahead and take care of all of her commitments, because I'm sure there are many
coming.
Folks. When she stopped, the first thing she did, she put on this nice little pretty Rolex watch just in time for Rolex to put the commercial
out. Absolutely.
I was like, well, but you know, that's, of course, you know, when they put that watch on, that's part of their contract agreement. Right. So they show the watch and they get paid for that. Right. So, but she has a Rolex now on her list, and so I said, wow. Yeah, it's there.
It's there. And I bet you New Balance is like, oh, I'm glad we got her to sign on the dotted line.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
Other companies probably like Nike's like,
yeah, we had her. What. They had her. Yeah, Nike had her. But New Balance took a chance and said, we're going to give you more than what they're going to give you. They took them on. They said, you're going to have your own line of clothing, your own line. And they took advantage of it. And we talked about that when we talked, if you want to go back to our old podcast on endorsements and everything, we talked about Coco's deal with New Balance. And it changed the ladder of people who were wearing New Balance, because they knew the bulk of the money now was going to go to her. Right. And that's the whole, you can listen to that podcast.
Right. Or if you want, look at the Michael Jordan story. Yeah. Because this is the exact same thing.
It's about how it works. Yep.
Nike took Jordan wanted to do Adidas, because Adidas was the thing back in the 80s. Nike took a chance and said, we're gonna cut you a deal on some of the percentages.
And he wanted a car, and Adidas wouldn't give him a car.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Somebody lost their job.
Somebody lost their mind.
You should have given him that car. Yeah. But so it's changed now. And then you saw the t-shirts that they came out, and this endorsement thing is crazy, because the whole thing with Djokovic too, you'll talk about that in a minute. But you know, when she first came out with New Balance, she had they called me Coco. That was the t-shirt. Right. So then all the family they call me Coco with a line going through, instead of me champion.
Absolutely.
Which was great. And my wife saw that. She said, I got to have one of those.
Right.
Yeah, I said,
that's going to go through the roof,
It's going to go through the roof. It's going to sell well. And that's what it's all about, man.
Absolutely.
But, and, you know, and we'll look at a few other things real quick, and then I'm going to turn it over to you. But Madison Keys, that was a heartbreaker. Right. And there's a person, and we don't know. It's sports, so you play and you hope for the best and win. But she's a person that, and I know this. Some people are gonna say you can't say, but if you could think of somebody who's deserving of at least one Grand Slam title, it's Madison Keys, man. I mean, she is class personified. She really is. She carries herself as a professional and as on that court, and an athlete of supreme talent, and her. You know, and you know, you in the back of your mind, everybody was pulling for her to get through to this final. And I'm just sorry it didn't work out for her. But you can't take away her tournament. She played with the focus that we talked about years. We talked about what she would need, and both you and I agreed that she had to stay focused and play within herself, which she did. She did. And I said, if she continues in this form and holding focus, not only will she get in the finals, I think she will get her first Grand Slam title. She will. Unfortunately, it didn't work out this time. I hope, and I know her press conference is heartbreaking. Yeah, if you ever go and check it out on YouTube, well, if you want to, but it is heartbreaking, because you realize everything that you put into it and what it meant to her, and how, you know, she was just crushed. But we're hoping that she can get over it. And she need to talk to Coco. Coco said, I was crushed after Wimbledon, but I came back, you know, and she can come back, even though she's got a few more years in Coco, but still, I don't think of this. People are saying this was the twilight of her. At 28. I mean,
Jessica's a year older. And she smoked Jessica.
Look, you can come back, not come back. You can get over this, and you can get in with your game and everything. You can still get there. And I think having Bjorn Fantangelo has helped her game. Having her fiance, who's a former, because he's left.
He's still on tour.
Is he still on tour? Yeah. Okay, so he's a professional tennis player and knows you well, and understands and knows your game, can help you out. And I think he's a big help to her game. I think that's a good reason why she is starting to do a little, you know, holding it together. Yeah. The other thing too, you know, I talk about Venus,
I was going to go there.
Yeah. And that's another point I want to bring up. Like I said before, Venus has a right to play as long as she wants to, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
And I think she, and I'm questioning whether or not this is the last time we'll see her. I hope not. And the only reason why I hope not, and I don't think she needs to play a full turn. She needs to do like she's doing, take her time. I would like to see her stay in the game to play US Open one last time and announce, maybe later on announce that this will be her last US Open so that she can get the send-off and the fanfare like her sister, like she deserves. Maybe not, and, was Venus the best player? No, she wasn't the best tennis player ever. No, she was good, very exceptionally good player. But was she an important player? Was she significant player?
Absolutely.
If there's another player, you can name me 5 or 10 players more significant to the game than her, please tell me who they are. I mean, I'll give you Billie Jean King. I'll give you her sister. I'll give you, but you're going to run out of things. It's a short list of who made an impact on this game that changed this game. And we're not even talking about the whole, the breaking that barrier, but not only the racial barrier in tennis, which had been, but they knocked it over because they were winning titles. They weren't just competitive. They were winning Grand Slam titles and putting it out there, but also too, as a woman, feminist, helping push over to get equal prize money for the women at the slams. And that she played a pivotal role in that. Yeah. Also, how many players today were inspired by her?
Absolutely.
And her sister.
Coco being one.
Being one. And now Coco's inspiring the next little 7 and 8 year olds coming up.
That's right.
And it just keeps giving. So she, like I said, if she wants to keep playing because she loves the game, let her keep playing.
Right.
People give her a wild card.
Absolutely.
Get her in there. But if this is the last one, I like for her to at least hang in there and do it finish it up at the US Open.
And if not the US Open, Wimbledon. That's where it all started.
That was her best.
It didn't all start, but that was her best results.
Yeah. She was the queen of the grass
for a long time.
Man,
and speaking of queen of the grass, and you're talking about Maddie is one of those players that I would say that she's the modern day Hannah Monlikova. Hannah Monlikova. I'm mispronouncing her last name, but Hannah,
another great Czech player,
a great Czech player from the 80s, where she was fighting against players like Martina Navratilova, where she was fighting against players like Chris Everett, and a few others especially playing on grass. And that's all she really wanted to do was win. And that one time when she loses and she's crying on the shoulder of Princess of Wales in the box.
That's, what? That is, was that Monlikova?
Yeah, that was Hannah.
Hannah Monlikova?
Yeah. And
I thought that was
prettiest ground strokes. She just couldn't beat those all-time greats.
Yeah.
And just like Madison, just you rooted for her, but she didn't have everything that she deserved to win, but didn't have whatever it was that those other all-time great Grand Slam champions had. But she deserved to win as many, and then she finally won. And I believe that's the only thing that she had won. But
and,
still,
she's passed away too.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Not too long. If it's saying I'm Ruffin, it's not Hannah Monlikova though. Monlikova was the one with the headband. She played the U.S. Open. This is a tall, blonde girl that was big serving volleyer. We have to research.
We have to check that.
But I'm trying. But anyway, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So she, that's Madison. And I believe she would have those results on Wimbledon, like Hannah did at Wimbledon. Because her game is suited for grass.
Yeah.
She's won a few tournaments. Yeah. On the lead-up tournaments
in Queens Club. That was like her first big tournament win in Queens Club.
I think Madison, just to be brief, will have that opportunity in the future. Because her game is definitely well suited.
Yeah.
If Petra Kvitova can can be dominant on grass, and I don't see why. Why Madison can't.
Yep.
But,
And then the last thing, just cheers for the American players, man. The young guns are coming up there. So we saw a lot of young faces up there. Some of them need to get a little more experience.
Right.
But the talent and the games are there. And we're hoping and praying that we get a few more of them to break through. I'm impressed with the especially on the women's side, the young American, and you'll talk about the young American men coming up too. But it's good time in tennis in America, man.
Definitely a good time in tennis.
Yeah, we
and especially on the American side. But so with the men, obviously
the GOAT.
The GOAT needs no real. Really, whether you like Novak, whether you don't, it's now quite obvious he is the GOAT.
Yeah. Well, we call this though. Yeah. Go listen to our GOAT
conversation.
We talked about
the
numbers don't lie.
The numbers just don't lie. Novak congratulations to Novak Djokovic. Then Medvedev put up a good fight. But whatever Novak has, whatever he's drinking and whatever he's putting in his coffee is working. And it's been working for a while. When he figured out all of those physical ailments that he had early on in his career, he stuck with it. And he's just one of those guys that he's beating you because he knows he's not going to miss.
Right.
And even when he doesn't miss, he's putting you in awkward positions. If you look at the way he plays, he is a master at taking court position away. Look at that match against Alcaraz at Wimbledon. And Alcaraz is the one doing all the running, and Novak is not. And I'm like, wait a minute, turn this around. That's the way you beat him. Well, maybe as he ages. Father Time is undefeated, so he will fall eventually. But right now, the mortals are not figuring it out.
No, that's right. Not
and Novak is just, it's incredible. He goes out there, he knows, okay, you're going to play this way. The way he broke down Ben Shelton's big serve is ridiculous.
It was
firepower is not going to do it. It's like 145 comes back with an address. But Novak is. We tip our hats to Novak as the GOAT. 24 Grand Slams. Like I said,
enough said.
What else can you say? Whether you like him, whether you don't. His political stuff aside, the against being vaccinated, whatever. He is, as a tennis player, the best player that we've seen, and that's saying a whole lot because I'm a big fan of Roger Federer. In fact, if he doesn't beat Roger Federer on match point in that U.S. Open several years ago, I don't think he's there because Roger gets one more,
right?
Because he certainly was going to win whoever he was going to face in the finals. And Novak's down one more, and then he may not even have the same beliefs. So one angry shot at a return of serve because the fans of New York were rooting for Roger and not pulling for Novak. Here we are, today. Roger's now sitting in the wheelchair, not in the wheelchair, in a rocking chair, not even a rocking chair. I know, and I love Roger
Federer. He's in a plush chair, boy.
Yeah, he's sitting in a plush chair. But Novak's still on the court.
Yeah, still playing. Yeah.
What do we always say? Taking names and chewing bubble gum, and he's all out of gum.
He's still
out there doing it.
Well, here's the thing: who hands him his trophy? Andy Roddick.
Oh, right.
Last American to win,
to win
the Grand Slam and the U.S. Open. Last American man.
Right.
And of course, they were contemporaries.
Yeah.
Andy Roddick has been retired for over 10 years
now.
A decade.
This
dude is he's still out there hitting and playing and beating the best. He's a phenomenon that, we thought we saw it. Everybody thinks it, and then somebody just seems to take it up a notch.
Right.
And he's definitely taking it up a notch. And that final, well, the Shelton thing was telling, but Shelton is just young.
Yeah, he's
he needs
young.
experience, and I'm hoping that his father Brian is going to take them back, and they're going to retool his game, use his gifts, his God-given gifts, and make those real weapons. So he's just not doing, he just seems so frenetic to me. I mean, he was just trying to blast his way out of stuff, and it was that was it. There was nothing else he could, and when that wasn't working, he fell apart because there was no backup. There was no, but his, like I said, you were saying his gifts are there. And I like his spirit. I hope, that whole thing.
It's infectious.
It's infectious.
Like
so he's great he's going to be great for the game.
Absolutely.
But the Joker is, and even in that finals against Medvedev, I mean, which is almost like a flip of the finals they played when Medvedev beat him. It was in straight sets. And it was like they had that middle set that went like real long. And then it was, and Medvedev wasn't like he didn't play well. He did his best. He did the best he could, but he could not penetrate. And here's the other thing. Think about how Novak beat him. He served in volley.
I know.
Novak, when do we know Novak doesn't have the biggest serve in the game or anything, but there he was serving and volleying. And even then, he served and volleyed. Remember that first game, his first service game, he served and volleyed, got burned.
Right.
He tried to serve and volley again, got burned. What does he do? He comes back and serve volleys again. And then runs through it. And he's controlling, he's dictating the points. And I'm just like, he's serving and volleying? He was just hitting, stay back and just rap.
Yeah. Novak's playing chess. Everybody else is not even on the chessboard.
Thank you. And what does that do to Medvedev?
Right.
He crushed him right there, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, dude, I don't believe this guy, and so it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. 24, and Novak has got his sights on even more. Because, now that he's tied Margaret Court for the most Grand Slams ever, he wants more.
Yes.
Now, I know I made the prediction early on after he won the French that he wasn't going to win anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That was just my gut feeling.
Yeah.
And certainly after Alcaraz took him out at Wimbledon, I thought, the American hard court summer courts, the the U.S. Open Series leading up to the U.S. Open, that's going to be telling. But he didn't play the full schedule. He didn't. Let's see. Did he? He didn't play back to back the 1000 Master Series.
Oh,
he didn't play Toronto and then Western and
he
Southern.
didn't. He skipped a few of those tournaments.
Yeah, but he came in. He played Western and Southern. He took out Alcaraz. Struck little revenge, and that seems to be
that was a practice tournament for him.
That seemed to be a recurring theme. He likes to get revenge against his. And one of the things that was interesting that people are always amazed at is that they say Novak doesn't defend, he counterattacks. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, that's a different mindset altogether. You get the ball back, but you already know I'm still planning attacking on this ball that you hit that you thought was going to be an outright winner.
Yep.
That right there says a whole lot. If you have the mindset that I'm going to counterattack off of your best offensive stroke,
it's done. Ooh, it's a done deal.
It's that. That's scary.
And at this level, that's the edge. That's all the edge.
Yeah, that's all they need. And he doesn't need much edges. Joker has the name Joker not because he's sadistic or anything like that. It's because early on, he used to mimic players.
Exactly.
So as part of his humor, he was a jokester.
Yep.
So, but that kind of irked a lot of people. But the Joker really is the Joker. He's thinking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps ahead.
Exactly.
He already knows exactly, just like all of those classic all-time greats. They already know, based on what you do, here's what I'm going to do. And when you counter that, I got this as an answer, and when you got that, I got this as an answer.
Yeah.
So that's Novak.
Yeah. He doesn't run out of options.
Right. He's got an option. Yeah, that's why he's got that team that's put together with Goran Ivanisevic. And a few others that had different aspects of game, volleys, serves, returner serves. The God-given talent of being the greatest returner. And we thought Dre was the best. And before that, we thought Connors was the best.
Yeah.
And I don't even know who before that, but without a doubt, he's the best we've ever seen and probably might ever see unless Carlos fixes that aspect of his game.
Yeah.
But I mean, Novak is just Novak. I mean, and it's undeniable now. You can't say anything, especially if he gets another Grand Slam, then he will be on the pedestal by himself. Men or women. He's got more Grand Slams than anybody that's ever played the game.
And understand this, people. We're not going to see this for a long, long time again. We won't. I mean, you just won't. And I don't know, maybe there's some little junior playing right now who's going to come back and start winning, but he's, I don't see any. I think the level of parity in the game right now is a lot tighter than it's been. I don't really see any of the top players, even Alcaraz. Alcaraz is going to win his share now.
Oh yeah,
he's going to win his share.
He's getting double digits. I'm gonna put that on record right now. He's getting double digit Grand Slams.
Will he get 25?
No,
or 26? Because Djokovic's going to get about 26 or 27 of them before it's over. At least
you think?
I see him still winning Grand Slams in another 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So whatever he does is just adding to his. And that makes more that you're going to have to do.
Right.
And I just think, like I said, the parity at this level now is it's more dense now. Yeah. So anybody, of that level, anybody can beat anybody of that top level on any given day. And so it's going to be difficult.
It certainly will be.
Yeah. I just, and I'm glad, I'm happy for him, his team and everything. But man, wanted Serena to hit it first, man.
I really did, but Serena had her chances.
She did. It wasn't meant to be.
I mean, she, when she lost that
to the Italian, that was it. What year?
Vicenci.
Yeah.
When she lost to Vicenci, I was like, what? You've never even lost a set to this woman, and now you're getting the yips.
But that's when I knew, Ruffin, we talked about this, that it wasn't going to be. Right. Because that draw opened up for her
so easily.
That was hers to take.
Right.
All of the players that she was going to face are players that she crushed before, and just, and it was not meant to be.
Yeah, they should have put a Sharapova in front of her because she would have been.
She would have won that. She'd have crushed Sharapova. But she got tight. Right. And I think the weight of, and she always says, I don't feel pressure, but they do feel pressure. You're not human if you don't.
Right.
And for all of her talent, and she still, to me, it didn't matter.
Right.
To me, Serena Williams on the women's side is still the GOAT. And so I feel like, she didn't need to win that for me to always say that she's the greatest that ever played the game. Mm-hmm. I think she wanted that for herself. And I think she felt that, and I hope not, but I think she still felt that she needed to do that to vindicate or justify them saying that about her. But as far as I'm concerned, nah, you good. You good. There's nobody to play this game like you in the WTA ever.
I mean, speed, serve, return to serve.
Her service.
The only thing that I always say about Serena's game is she could not volley.
Yeah. Well, she didn't have to a lot though.
But that's just
that serve, that serve of hers her serve should be, if anybody wants to see the perfect, simple motion, just everything it is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. When she hit that serve and what she can do with it. Right. I mean, the power is off the chain. And the placement. She can put it on a dime anywhere she wanted to. When she was flowing with that serve, it was lights out.
Right.
You won't. Yeah. She put a lot of women. Oh, she put some men to shame when playing mixed doubles. I seen her put that serve.
Right. And it didn't have to be the biggest serve, even though at one point it was.
Yeah.
She was going back and forth between Venus and Serena having the biggest serve. And if that didn't work, the return to serve. She definitely had the best return to serve.
And that backhand, her backhand return to serve was
absolutely a thing of beauty.
It was a thing of beauty, boy. Yep. But anyway, hey, Joker, He's the man.
Yeah, he
and
is.
Did you see everybody in the box put those Lacoste jackets on? Then he had the Kobe shirt. He did a whole production. I like the Kobe thing. That was kind of cool. But everybody, even little kids, had those jackets. I said, what if he had lost?
Well,
they'd have packed them up and they'd have sent them to Bolivia. Some little kids.
Like, where'd you get that from? I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, congratulations to Novak on 24. Unfortunately or unfortunately, whichever side you're on, he's probably going to get a few more.
He'll get a few more. I think so.
Well, that sounds like enough time about the U.S. Open. I mean, we could go down so many different rabbit holes and talk more and more, but we're gonna keep it short. So, again, thanks for listening to us, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you coming back, and we're gonna keep it a little more consistent from here to the end of the year.
Yes.
But thanks for listening to us. As we get back into a flow of things, summer is gone.
It's
now time to get back to the daily grind.
That daily grind, back to the grill again.
But as we always say, if you like us, say something. If you want to hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, or X,
X.
or Facebook, or email us. Just hit us back on social media, and we'll return any comments, or just like us, and we'll respond. So as we always say, unless James, Coach, you got anything else to say?
No, man. Go out and play some tennis.
Go out and play some tennis.
I like the fly hat, dude.
That's a fly hat.